Hello and welcome to Championship Chats. In this episode, we will look back on former Water's narrow victory over Abbeyside.
But still manages to retain it. Jamie in Prunty after this one here. What a tackle by Prunty. Is it a fair one? Referee says play on. Jamie spins away from that tackle. Off his left hand side, strikes it in. This one is going to carry. It is indeed. Jamie Vernon beginning to turn it on here. It's his third point of this county quarter. Finally got one.
And we will be speaking to Seán Walsh.
It was more a physical encounter, but sure, that's why we put in such a hard pre-season.
But before we hear from Seán, let's take a look back on last Sunday's game. It was a highly contested match right from the throw-in, with former Water securing the first score of the match, coming from Dermot Ryan.
Sean Whelan Barrett, two players with plenty of energy, plenty of pace. 4 mile have it. They go for it again. That's Dermot Ryan in the yellow boots there. Not going to be missing them this afternoon. Gets a bit of latitude off his right hand side. He backed himself. Dermot Ryan. He's a good footballer. He's also a superb hurler. That's a superb score for Spurs.
By the 8th minute, a feisty affair had unfolded, and within the next 6 minutes, there would be 3 sending offs. 2 of those for Abbeyside and 1 for Formal Water. For the remainder of the second quarter, both teams would come to terms with a reduction of manpower on the pitch. At half-time, Formal Water led by 3 points on a scoreline of 8 points to 5. On return to the pitch in the second half, the next 15 minutes could be described as nothing other than a ferocious battle. Formal Water added to their lead until the 59th minute, when they were 7 points clear, when Abbeyside were awarded a penalty and raised the first green flag of the match, reducing the gap between the teams to 4. 2 minutes later, Abbeyside would get their second goal, putting nothing other than a point between the teams. With just under 2 minutes left to play, Former Water could not afford to concede a score to Abbeyside. Shortly after the 63rd minute, referee Nicky O'Toole blew the final whistle on a scoreline of Former Water 15 points to Abbeyside's 2-8. We will now cross over to Seán Walsh to get his thoughts on last Sunday's match. So we're joined by Seán Walsh tonight. Seán, thanks a million for taking time out to have a chat with us tonight. Seán, it was a tough battle last Sunday in which you were in control for most of the match, but yet it almost slipped away. But you must be happy with the outcome of that match.
Yeah, sure. Look, we're happy with the win, but the performance probably wasn't the best. Now, I wouldn't be happy with the performance. We're probably better than that. We're probably better than that. We'd want ourselves to be a better standard than that. We are a better standard than that. But yeah, I'd be happy with the win. I wouldn't be happy with the performance at all.
The match itself was a battle more so than anything else, and it didn't rely hugely on the hurling ability or skill set of either of the two teams. But would you agree it was more of a physical encounter than anything else?
Yeah, it was more of a physical encounter, but sure, that's why we put in such a hard pre-season, and that's why the Freaks here, he has us in the best shape that we've been in ever. I'd say the strongest team we've ever had. Yeah, that's why we put in all the work in the start of the year for matches like this. Obviously, Abbeyside, we know from the football that they're a physical team. We're expecting it, but yeah, that's why we have to put in a hard pre-season at the start of the year.
Yeah, it was early on in the match when Abbeyside were reduced to 13 men and Former Water to 14. But did you find it hard to come to terms with the new configuration of both yourselves and Abbeyside from that point onwards?
Yeah, sure. Look, I won't beat around the bush. Discipline probably left both teams down, us and them. I'd say Connor was more of a hit for us, seeing as he's such a big link player. But yeah, more so than Abbeyside. But I'd say we coped all right with it. We probably didn't sort out the spare man in time. We could have used our spare man better, but yeah, I'm looking forward to having Connor back anyway next week. So
yeah, in the 59th minute you were 7 points clear, and a victory was almost a done deal at that stage. But then Abbeyside were awarded a penalty and they managed to get that goal, and 2 minutes later get a second goal. And at this stage then there's only 2 minutes left to play and there's a point between the teams. What were you feeling at that point of the game?
Yeah, sure. It was one of our flaws, leaving teams back into it. I'd say we really need to work on it, but the feeling it's probably not as bad, seeing as we won. But if we lost, I don't know how we'd be able to deal with it. You can't lose to teams like that. You can't lose 7 points up in 59 minutes and then to only win by a point. It's just not acceptable from our team. We'll have to work on it. We will be better. So yeah.
That's brilliant. Thanks a million, Sean, and congratulations on the win. And that's all for this episode. A huge thank you to Seán Walsh for appearing in this video, and also a huge thanks to Clubber TV for use of their clips in this episode. If you want a full match report, head over to our Facebook page at the Nair 4 Mile Water, where you can get an in-depth analysis of that match. But until next time, thanks for watching and take care.